this is Doug Mabey. I'm a lead environmental inspector for TRC Companies out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Every project we work on typically has to comply with local, state, and federal rules. I've worked in several different states. Each state is unique. Each municipality is unique. Sometimes the state standards go above and beyond federal standards, so fine print is very important. And reading whether it's the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan or your Stormwater Management Plan is vital to the overall compliance of a project. Sure. The Clean Water Act and the applicable conditions underneath it and its various chapters basically allow a blanket protocol across all states that are minimum requirements. Now each state can be more stringent in their approach to tailor specific needs, but those states cannot have weaker standards than the feds. So for example, under the National Pollution Elimination Discharge System, the standards for storm runoff on any type of construction site, the limits for nephelometric turbidity units, or essentially sediment leaving your construction site, cannot exceed 280 NTUs. And that's a federal standard. Now each state can have a more stringent standard. Vermont, for example, has a 25 NTU limit. New York State is 5 NTU. And I think each of these states value their water resources quite closely, and these are really done in an effort to preserve things such as tourism, interstate commerce, and overall sedimentation of their water resources or degradation to their water quality and overall fish habitat. One of the weaknesses I've found are related to the federal and state compliance. Some states have chosen to refer to the Fed standards for overall stormwater management, such as Massachusetts. They have to comply with that 280 NTU standard. And I find that to be a weakness because that essentially allows a certain level of pollution or sediment to be deposited on a daily basis from a given construction site or really other municipality, and that over time can be deleterious to our overall water resources. My reaction is that the Clean Water Act has certainly made incredible strides for the overall water quality of this country. To specifically kind of zone in on stormwater management and stormwater pollution prevention. In my experience, being around a lot of contractors, a lot of different type of linear construction projects, I've preferred to work in a regulatory environment which focuses or only limits 0 NTU discharges into waters of the state or waters of the U.S. Simply for the reason that when you say no pollution is allowed coming off your construction site, every effort is used and exhausted to comply with that. When the feds or individual states have a higher threshold, it gives slack in the system, for lack of a better word. And just being around a lot of construction people, it gives you a level of discharge, it gives you a level of pollution, and that's very easily exceeded. So in that respect, I think it's a failure. Overall, I think having these standards are good. Over time, really the waterways will tell the story.
You know, during the summers when I go fishing, the Clean Water Act affords me clean fish when I fish on and rip one right out of the river. Thank you.
Well, with more than 117 million Americans at risk, the Clean Water Act is key to protecting 2 million miles of streams and 20 million acres of wetlands. I think that the Environmental Protection Agency and the Army Corps of Engineers is vital to protecting our waterways. Thank you.